Hi there, I'm Thor, son of Odin, and welcome to Jay's Toy Collection, UK. Thank you, Marvel Legends, for you'll be seeing him later. Yes, I am Jay, and welcome to Jay's Toy Collection, UK, and another review all the way from Japan has arrived. So this is the rather controversial, it seems, at the moment in the toy community, Mafex Thor, Odin's son himself. So I've heard a lot of the online chatter, this figure is too small, and potentially the head doesn't look up, so I will be the judge of that myself as we go through the review, and let's see how he gets on. But from first in packaging sort of shots, he's looking pretty cool, but we will see as we get closer. So I'll just take you over the packaging now then. So again, as we've had with all the Mafex figures, you do get this kind of cool comic book pattern. You do get the dots going down the side. Mafex number 182 for Thor there. That looks like Batman to me, doesn't it? In a little image there, but I'm assuming that is supposed to be Thor with his cape on. Nice comic book art of Thor himself. Image of the figure you can see, of course, behind the cellophane there, and the classic Thor logo. On the side then we have the Mighty Thor logo. Any wrestling fans out there, I'm sure Bobby Lashley has a Thor tattoo. Somebody let me know in the comments. There's Thor swinging his hammer on the side there. Classic artwork of Thor, looks like Jack Kirby to me, might be wrong. And there is Thor with his sort of flying Mjolnir, but can he actually achieve the pose on the packet? Can he fly? We will find out as the review continues. And there's a shot of Mjolnir down the bottom. And one more pan down then as we go through the back of the packaging. Thor logo there. We've got a bit of green, bit of blue, and the accessory layout. So we do get the spinning Mjolnir effect, similar to what we've now seen with Marvel Legends and Diamond Select. Potentially we've got a few different versions of Mjolnir, or at least a few different handles, and a couple of heads of Thor posing around there to see if there's anything on the top or bottom. Pretty much the same on the top there, just an image of Thor and the logo. And for those that want to see the bottom of the packaging, there we are. We have the barcode and a little Mafex hologram saying we've got a real one. So then, without any further hesitation, let's get this bad boy out of the packaging. Right, we are out the tray then, and this is what we have. So you've got your classic Mafex scan that you get with every single Mafex figure. Lots of different interjustable, what a weird word that is. Lots of different interchangeable pieces and clips there come with that one. And you can tighten it with the screwdriver. And then we do have Mjolnir down here in the under tray. This is the spinning version. And as you may be able to see, there are slightly different sort of paint shades on the actual hammer there. That's the one with the actual hammer. The rest are like the effect sort of pieces as it spins around. But I'm not sure if the camera is picking up all the sort of different shades there. It's rather unusual clip at the bottom, which at the moment I haven't got a Scooby what that does. So let me know in the comments if anybody knows quicker than me. And there is Thor over there in his tray with an absolute shit ton of hands and different sort of versions of Mjolnir as well. So we've got different holdy handles and 4 of those and 2 different Mjolnir. So I'll get these all out of the tray and we'll take a closer look. Right, we will start with the accessories then, and we'll start with the spinning Mjolnir. So it's a decent size and it's well sculpted. You do get some nice sort of detailing on it. As you can probably see here, this one there is the darker shade of grey to indicate the actual hammer, and the rest are a lighter shade as it spins round. So it's a cool little effect, and I think you literally just plug it in there to his hands. Talking of hands, it's Bare Hand City today. My goodness, we've got an absolute bucket of the things over here. So you've got your standard sort of like C-shape grippers there, just your usual gripping hands. Then you've got hand job hands, I suppose all we can call these really, isn't it? We've got like absolute filth as usual on the channel, but how else am I supposed to describe those? So I think you take Mjolnir apart and slide Mjolnir's shaft in the hands. So once again, utter filth here from Mafex. Then we've got the fully spread out hands, your sort of I don't know, posing, sort of flying pose maybe you could do with that. I'm actually talking flying pose. You might want to use these sort of troppy hands to do your flying poses with, so maybe that's what those are meant for. And again, some more open palm sort of C shapes there as well. So that's your usual hands. And then we've got 4 down here for Mjolnir. Now again, up to filth. We've got sort of butt plug in the back there to keep them to keep the hole nice and wide, so you can pop them on the peg easily without breaking. So actually, in all seriousness, that is a very good idea from a Mafex, because it does stop any breakages on the pegs. So you can attach Mjolnir to the top. So those are the 2 fists, and then those are the flying grip handles, so a left and a right for each, so you can fly to your heart's content if you can get his head to look up, which we will look at. Talking of heads, over here we've got, yeah, if I can get it right down there, we've got, I can move it as well, let's try a bit of that. So you should be able to see there the screaming face sculpt. You do get the nice sort of feathers on the side and the screaming face sculpt. Now you get a little Mjolnir here and a big one. So the shaft, the handle does come off of each and it just plugs into a little hole on there. And there is this little clip. I'm assuming it's a belt buckle maybe, but I'm not fully sure. So that, and if I go all the way over here, still haven't got a bloody clue what that's supposed to be for. So again, anybody knows, let me know in the comments. So that's all the accessories. You got a ton of hands, ton of Mjolnirs, the stand, and now we get Thor himself. So I will come in and take a closer look. And so far, it's a really nice looking sculpt. Haven't tried the articulation yet, or any size comparisons, but just looking at the actual figure on its own, I think it's very well sculpted. So you do get some nice paint shading down the arms, which the camera should be picking up. Obviously Thor is in his classic look here, classic sort of 1960s, 1970s look. You got the sort of tiger stripe boots there on the bottom with all the wraps on, so they're all well painted as far as I can tell. So he looks really quite impressive, but it doesn't look too big though. It does look a little on the small side. His cape is a nice bendy wire cape as well. In case you wanted to see that from the back, there we are. You do get some paint shading on the actual wings there as well, sort of feathered wings on the side of his helmet, but you can see all the texturing in the cape. It's a very nice fabric, nice dense fabric, and bendy wire all over the place down the bottom and the side of the cape. So that's Thor, so he's looking good. Time for articulation. Right then, let's try articulation. Let's start with his head. I've heard it doesn't move. Let's find out. Yeah, it doesn't move a lot, does it? So let's try up. Nothing. Not a thing, not a smidge, an absolute smidge up. So no, you're not getting a lot up. I wonder if the ab crunch can help the flying pose down. Not a lot. Side to side, not a lot. Okay, so his head doesn't move great, let's be honest. So the reason then is this hair sculpt. You've got hair coming down the front and the back, and it's literally locking the head in place. You're only going to get a bit of side to side. Now, that's not the greatest, but it's the thickness, it's the rigidity of this plastic. It's quite stiff, so yeah, that isn't going to work very well. But I'm thinking the flying pose may work, because let's try the ab crunch back. So we get a lot back. So if I tilt him back a little bit, there you go. I think you'll be able to get the flying pose just about okay, but you're going to have to utilize the rest of the articulation. You're going to have to use the ab crunch and the waist swivel there to actually get Thor to look up. So you will be able to just about achieve the flying pose with a little effort, but you're not getting a lot out of the head. So the arms, I see we can get to a full T. Yeah, you can get the full T as normal. You've got butterflies. Yeah, we've got butterflies in the arms. So you can see those in there, butterfly joints in the arms. Will we get drop down? Yeah, oh god, look at those, yeah. Or you can get super muscle man shoulders, or you can actually drop them down. So drop down arms there for Thor, so that's cool. Again, nice and smooth on the articulation as Mafex usually is. We're not getting much more than 90 though on the elbow. Yes, that's me, but I don't think you are. I don't think the way it's sculpted, it's clashing there. So you're only going to get 90 out of the arms. I'd say the way you get a full twist and a nice movement at the waist. So your torso articulation is probably the best thing going so far on the upper half of Thor. Legs out quite far. You can go quite far. Can you come forward? You drop down hips. I'm assuming we've got them a bit stuck there. Yeah, we've got drop down hips there. Come all the way up on that one. And we got a double. Yeah, we got a decent amount of movement on the knees. Again, you're not getting full butt touching sort of action with Thor, but you are getting 90 out of the double joint, so that probably could be better. Ankle usual, you've got your rocker, pivot, and the toe articulation in there. So average in terms of Mafex's sort of standard of articulation, but I think you've got enough, to be honest, to do all the poses you actually want to do with Thor here. And as I say, fully bendy wire capes, you can probably get that into some really cool positions. You've got some nice sort of muscle sculpt underneath there as well. So for what I'm going to do with him, I'm quite pleased. Super ACBA people, yeah, you might have to do a bit of work with this one to get it up to standard, but quite liking him so far. Let's try a size comparison next. Right, so the first comparison you might want to see is the Marvel Legends Classic 4 versus the new Mafex one. And as you can see, we have got a vast scale difference here. So if anybody is thinking of picking up this Thor to go with your Marvel Legends, yeah, that's not going to work at all. Absolutely way out of scale compared to Marvel Legends. Now, some Mafex, they scale perfectly fine with Marvel Legends, but not this Thor. He is extremely on the small side when it comes to the actual size there. But the sculpt wise, I think it's a much nicer looking figure. The very short sort of handled Mjolnir there on the Marvel Legends version, and I think I prefer the colours and everything on the Mafex one. It just looks more comic booky to me. Another thing to note is actually the Mjolnir here doesn't have any form of engraving on it, whereas I think on the other side of the Marvel Legends one, if I can turn him around without him falling over, because getting him to stand up was a bit of a miracle, you do have the old inscription about the mighty Thor, and you've got to be worthy to actually hold the hammer. So Mafex haven't put that on any of them, so it would have been nice to actually have that on one of the hammers at least. So I'm going to be docking some points if I was marking this on a scale for that one. Right, and mainly for shits and giggles, because I got him lying around there, is the Marvel Legends Magneto, and as you can see, this Thor is no bigger than Magneto. I happen to have him lying around from the previous Magneto review, so yeah, that's not going to work at all. Let's see if I can get some Mafex in here for a comparison. Right, this is probably a more fair comparison because it actually is Mafex on Mafex. This is the classic suit Spider-Man, and if you haven't got this figure, 100% recommend trying to find him. He's probably one of the best Mafex figures there is. So Thor is much bulkier than Spider-Man and slightly taller. So for a Mafex scale, he just about scales in. He's probably a little bit tad on the short side, but if you're going to go Mafex only, I think it does work there for that purposes. So next thing I'm going to do is compare him to his comic book counterpart, then we'll get him in the collection. So for this part of the video then, I've gone to the library section of the toy room to find the comic book collection. This is the Epic Collection Volume 1, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers version. So let's see how he compares to his comic books. Right then, so once again I think Mafex has absolutely nailed this one. So there is Avengers number 7, their darkest hour. And as you can see, he's looking pretty cool compared to his comic book counterpart there. Again, you've got the nice shading on the feathers there, the blue pants. You've got the yellow wrapped feet, and some other classic Avengers over there. You've got the whirly sort of Mjolnir effect they're going for. Talking other Avengers, there's Captain America, who hopefully will go out to pre-order soon from Mafex. And as we take a look inside the comic again, you've got Thor down there on your left-hand side. So this to me, again, very pleased with this figure actually overall. Might be a little on the short side, but I think it looks so classic comic book, it's just going to work really well in the display. So there's Thor again on that side. So there's only one thing left to do, is get our boy Thor in the Avengers Mafex display. Right then, and there we have Thor in position behind Iron Man. So I've got him up here on the top shelf of the display. So we're down in the living room, we've got the Avengers poster up there, and then we've got the Spider-Man and Carnage poster. So the Spidey display is on the top here with Ben Reilly, Venom, Spidey, and your boy Carnage at the front there. My little strip of lights that isn't actually attached, I haven't put on at the minute. And of course my decoupaged DTOF there with all the different Marvel comics. There is it's so hot here, we've had major collapses in the display. As you can see with Nightwing and Catwoman will have gone down. But what I'm going to do is I've got Marvel on the top here from there we go, we show Spidey over there as well. The X-Men stuff's down the bottom that you may have seen in the previous videos of Magneto. But Spider-Man versus Avengers is at the top. So if I go into Thor, so I've actually used the stand. You don't need to use the stand, he stands perfectly fine. But because it's a top shelf display, I'm being cautious again in this heat. So he's there swinging Mjolnir just in front of his comic book counterpart on the wall there. And there is Iron Man, another really good Mafex figure is Iron Man. He's very, very shiny. As you can see, it looks cool. The base there is Marvel Legends. That is the Series 1 Marvel Legends Tony Stark base. So if I sort of pan back, you can sort of see this whole display that will be forming. So can't wait for Captain America to appear. We know he's coming. And we know Bane is coming over there for some of the DC side of things. And I've just had an idea. Look who's on that poster. Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Wasp, and Giant Man. Marvel Legends Giant Man. If that rumoured Haslab comes off, I literally just thought he can go right up here. As long as I've got all that to the ceiling height, I've got about 20 inches or so. So, Just literally thinking of something on the fly in here. He was going to go with the Marvel Legends if he actually exists, but Giant Man may be coming soon to the Mafex sort of HasLab, because the other HasLabs are down here. You can probably see Galactus, the remnants of Galactus there, so that might not be a bad idea. A Giant Man on the top. Avengers display coming along. Well, that's it really from me today. That is Thor from Mafex, so depends what you want out of him, really. Yeah, head movement is lacking, and he is a little small, but he definitely works in a Mafex style display. So, hope you've enjoyed this one. I have been Jay. This has been Jay's Toy Collection UK. Please do like, comment, and of course subscribe, as I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers here in 2023. In the 900s now, so nearly there. So hit that subscribe button, everybody. And I will, of course, see you on the next video.